Good afternoon, everybody. This is Jim Mallory with B2B Technologies, and I'd like to take just a moment to thank you for attending the webinar today. We're going to be spending about 30 minutes going over Anytime Commerce, which is our B2B and B2C e-commerce storefront that integrates to your back-end accounting or ERP application. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dig in on the presentation. Up front, I do have a couple slides. I just want to talk about the differences between B2B and B2C. We do support business-to-consumer storefronts, but our real focus, if you will, is on business-to-business e-commerce. And there aren't many solutions on the market today that have the B2B side down pat. That's an area where we really shine. So I'd like to we'll talk a little bit about that here in the early part of the presentation. We're going to talk a little bit about customer products, so you can set up your shopping carts and your storefront so that in particular customers come in, they can see their items or items that they would more frequently be purchasing. We do have the back-end integration to the accounting system. So if you've defined customer-specific price sheets, those are the prices that will be displayed on Anytime Commerce storefront. From a back-end, back-office integration standpoint, we're going to talk about how that works and the different data elements that we're pulling in from your accounting system, as well as the orders and the information we're pushing back in to the accounting system. We'll talk a little bit about account self-service. There are alternative shipping methods as well. We'll talk about that a little bit, and then about sales rep access to the system. So just a couple things that I want to start off with. These are examples of websites or e-commerce sites that you probably don't want to emulate. And this is a real website for a real missile defense system. I'm not going to buy anything from that website. It doesn't look professional. You get into the business consumer side, and you get websites like this. I mean, this is horrible. I mean, how do you find anything on the page? How do you go about placing an order? It just doesn't even look remotely professional. It looks like somebody scanned in a really old catalog. And then here's another one. If I'm going to buy industrial supplies, they've got an e-commerce store here. They've got the pricing online. I can see that here at the bottom. But it looks like it was developed, maybe in the early 1990s, and I'm going to be maybe a little hesitant to be putting orders in, on this website, just because it just doesn't look professional. So let's talk a little bit about the differences between B2C and B2B. With B2C, you're going to put more importance on consumers and search engine optimization marketing. Not to say you don't do that in a B2B environment, but it certainly is a lot more important when you don't have an established relationship with that customer and they're trying to find you and everybody else, Amazon included, for the products that you're selling. With B2C, there's no on-account sales, right? I can't have an established account and make an order, get an invoice, and make a payment on that invoice. It is 100% almost point of sale where I'm doing a credit card purchase. Again, in a B2B environment, that could be the case as well, right? You could be selling with a credit card purchase, and we do have credit cards integrated with Anytime Commerce. B2C, unless your user, your consumer comes onto the website and kind of configures some things, you really don't know who they are or what they're looking for, so you're very limited on how you can customize their product catalogs. In a B2B environment, it can be very different, right? I know a lot about this customer. I know what they've ordered previously. I know the type of account that they are. Are they a government account? Are they an industrial account? Are they a commercial account? Are they some other type of an account? And I can actually customize my product catalogs down so that based on their login, I'm presenting that information that's relevant to them right in front of them. In the B2C world, you don't really have the concept of a sales rep. In B2B, oftentimes you do. And I'm going to show you how we can use the e-commerce storefront really as a traveling catalog for your sales reps. So they can either access it via the web, or they can install it as an app on a tablet, take it with them, and place orders while they're on site at the customer. And then here's the big one. And you can go out there, and we'll talk about this a little later in the presentation. There are a lot of options out there for B2C e-commerce. I mean, a lot of them. And they're very cheap, they're affordable, they're easy to set up. The problem is that they don't have that back office integration. They don't know what your customer prices are. They don't know what your customer ship-tos are. They don't understand the concept of getting the order into your accounting system. They'll maybe give you a file at the end of the day or email one at a time all your orders to you, and then you have to have somebody manually rekey this information. This is where B2B and B2C really kind of divert paths, and it becomes more and more important for a company selling in a business-to-business environment to have that back-end integration. And we're going to talk a little bit about that more. Hundreds of solutions available. In the B2C world, Amazon, Shopify, eBay, Monster Commerce, BigCommerce, I mean, you name it, the list goes on and on. But if you go and search for B2B e-commerce or business-to-business sales e-commerce or some variant of that word or phrase, you're going to only come up with a handful of solutions. And some of the B2C companies are marketing themselves as B2B, but they're not. Ask them about the back-end integration to the accounting system. You'll find out real quick if they don't know what they're talking about. So I've got a little comparison here of some of the differences. Goals, B2C, it's product-driven, and B2B, it's relationships. B2C, it's broad and general, try to get out to the masses. And in B2B, you typically are selling to a very small targeted audience. In most cases, you know who your prospects are. Buying process, B2C, I go to Amazon, I look for what I'm finding or what I'm looking for, I put my order in, I pay for it, I'm done. In a B2B environment, sometimes that can be a very long process. I might want to add products to my cart, look at them, see what options are available. I may need to be sold on it rather than actually just going and putting in an item and buying it, without being able to see it or touch it or feel it. Pricing in a B2C environment, they do get into some things with buy one, get ones and promotions and coupons and loyalty programs and such, but they don't have that back-end integration to your accounting system to say that, my number one customer has special pricing and this is their price sheet. Or in a B2B environment, you have to have that. Shipping in a B2C environment is pretty much going to be common carrier, UPS, FedEx, etc. You get into a B2B environment, what if I'm selling a big piece of equipment or pallets of supplies? I could be shipping that LTL. I could be shipping it by the truckload. I could have my own trucks. So there's definitely a lot more complexity in B2B when it comes to shipping. From a user standpoint, in a B2C environment, it's almost exclusively the consumer or the customer. In a B2B environment, it could be a number of different people. It could be the customer themselves as a self-service store. You could have your sales reps, again, going in and entering orders on behalf of their customers. Or if you sell through a channel, if you have independent brokers or dealers or manufacturers reps, those would be the people, basically your distributors, your sales arm, that can go into the commerce storefront and place orders for their customers for the products that they represent in your product catalog. From a frequency standpoint, this is kind of a generality in B2C. A lot of times you go to a website and you'll buy it and you'll be done. You'll never go back to the website again, even though they market to you. I have a tendency to go back to Amazon for everything just because I like it. So I might be the anomaly there. But in a B2B environment, you get a lot of repeat orders. If I'm buying industrial supplies, cleaning supplies, if I'm buying, toner for my commercial printers, all this is going to be stuff that I go back to the storefront periodically and place new orders for. Order totals, typically in a B2C environment, it's going to be relatively low price, $10 up to maybe 500, maybe 1,000. In a B2B environment, you could have $20, $30, $50, $100,000 sales. From a fulfillment standpoint, in a business consumer site, you're going to be looking oftentimes at a third-party fulfillment, and in a B2B environment, you typically have your own warehouse. So you have to be concerned about all that information that your warehouse is going to need to know. What is the item or items that I'm picking? How do they want to pack? How do they want them shipped? All that information is going to need to flow back into your accounting system so that you know what to do with that order. From an order processing standpoint in B2C, there's a lot of manual imports. And in a B2B environment, you really want it to be automated. You want those orders to be created in your ERP system. Talked about the back office integration where we really shine. It's not just about the customer pricing. It's about the ship tos, the build tos, the automatic order creation, the real-time inventory status. If I'm a B2B customer and I go to your storefront, I want to be able to find out, do you have this in stock? And I need that near real-time inventory stocking levels. And stored shipping information, stored payment information. All that information I expect you to have because I have an account with you. Account self-service. So I can go online as a B2B customer. I can see statements or print statements. I can view invoices. I can look at sales orders. I can review sales orders. Review shipments. I can maintain my account information and communicate, with the sales team and with the company from the online store. Sales reps, we talked about this. You can really take Anytime Commerce with you as a sales rep. And what this is one of our websites installed as an app that runs on a tablet. And if I was a sales rep, I'd go out to my customers and I'd basically pull up my e-commerce catalog and find out what I have in stock, what the customer pricing is. I'll filter through to the customer that I'm visiting. I can access their account online. I can do remote sales order entry that flows back into my ERP system. I can go out and put together a shopping cart and save it for my customer so that I can tell them, hey, Joe, these are the items that you were looking at. I put together a shopping cart. Go ahead and log in and review it, and then they can place the order. And then, of course, you've got your entire product catalog with you as a sales rep. A couple sample websites, and then we're going to go in and actually do a live demo. This was one of our customers that we implemented. They're a distributor of products for the funeral home industry, and they have a real nice, clean website here. And you'll see this is all the same product, Anytime Commerce, but we've kind of skinned it out differently. There's a back-end maintenance to define the look and the feel, the color schemes, and there's a content management system so you can actually move things around, to fit your particular needs. So this site is the same product as this website, which looks very different. This is a company called D2M. They are a distributor of aftermarket products for motorcycle enthusiasts. So they typically will go out to a motorcycle dealership and try to sell products to them. Helmets, your gear that would go on your motorcycle, etc. So this is one of the companies that actually uses it as an app for their sales reps. And then we have another customer, corrugated replacements, and they chose to go with kind of a very simple design for their e-commerce storefront. Excuse me. And what they do is they make replacement parts for corrugated packaging equipment. So a very, very niche market. So you can see same product, kind of three different looks here. So let's go ahead and take a look at Anytime Commerce. You can choose to require a login, or you could allow a guest access. That's completely up to you. But I'm actually going to log in to the store. And again, this is how I know that this customer has these specific items that I want them to look at, or how I know that this customer has specific price sheets. So a couple things here. I'm logging as an admin, so I've got access to kind of everything. But I can see the customer that I'm logged in as. If I'm a sales rep, I can actually pick my name, or if I log in as a sales rep, it obviously details or defaults to it. So I can log in as Dan Bear, Rich Brenner, and then choose from my customers. But I'm going to actually go to the home page here, and you can put whatever you want on the site. Image rotators. You can, create categories or little images that would actually link to product categories. Maybe you want to feature products here. And this is 100% maintainable by the end user. We don't have to get into the coding on this. Again, there's a back-end content management system that allows you to set up your site. Okay. So, from here, I could just go and look at process controls, for example, and that's going to take me to my actual storefront. We can do full text searches. Maybe I want to look at all of my MCB product line items. So I go ahead and do a search, and that's going to filter that product list. I can define how many items I want to see on the page. I can actually filter down by category. Now I can go ahead and see this information. The quantity available is available on site, online. I can drill into a product. I can see multiple images. If it has attachments, maybe a material safety data sheet, maybe it's a user guide, maybe it's a video. It really depends on the nature of what you're selling, what kinds of attachments you might want to have. And then if you want this item, you can go ahead and add it to your cart. Okay? So, really, really easy to find the items. And then once you got them, I like this feature here up at the top. I can kind of pull my cart down and see what's in here. Scroll across and go ahead and we'll check out right from the top here. Okay. Again, B2B environment. Who do I want to ship to? I could have multiple ship tos here. I can go ahead and edit this information if it isn't coming from my ERP system. Now, how do I want to ship it? We've got a lot of different shipment rates here. We do integrate with UPS for real-time shipment calculations. FedEx, I believe, we also integrate with. If not, you might have to maintain the freight rate tables in the background. And you also can set up your own freight tables or rates for shipment via your own trucks or LTL or truckload or other methods. Okay. So we would simply come in here, enter some comments. We can look at all the items in our cart. We can remove them. We can add more quantities. See our subtotal. We do support multiple currencies. We also integrate with Avalara for sales tax calculation, and that's a very popular online sales tax engine available for most of the major accounting systems. So a lot of your customers will already have some exposure to the Avalara product. Epicor has it, Sage has it, it's integrated in Microsoft, and really everything else out there. So it's going to look at this order, find out what's taxable, what's not. It's going to calculate sales tax. It's going to calculate my shipments, shipping information, and then have my total. And then I can go ahead and continue to do the payment. And I can either pay on account or I can pay on a credit card. I can add new cards. From a payment standpoint, we do have a handful of payment providers that we integrate with out of the box. If there are others out there that your customers or if you're using specifically, we can do an integration to those providers to be able to leverage their payment processing solutions. Okay, so there are options there as well. Simply go and review this order. And then we can go ahead and submit it. We've got our order number, we have the UPS shipping information, and we can come back in the future and find out, what's going on with that order. So let's go ahead now. We can go into inquiries, again, self-service mode. I can find the different web orders. I can pull them up, get kind of a preview online. Maybe I want to look at invoices, and we're looking to build out the inquiries so you can do a lot more online. At this point, inquiries and sales orders are what's available. We are looking to add payments as well as shipments and other information. And this is fairly easy for us to do. Okay. So in a nutshell, I mean, that's kind of a high level of anytime commerce. So let's go back to the presentation. And that was an old slide, so we're gonna stop here for a second. I do want to talk about the integration of anytime commerce. Anytime commerce is available today for a number of different accounting solutions. Depending on the system that you're using, we may need to do some work on the integration. However, all of the integration work is covered under the purchase price. We don't charge anything additional unless it's out of scope for a typical implementation. And what I mean by that is, we integrate out of the box with the Sage 500, Sage 100. With Epicor, we're real close to having that integration done, but it's not there today. So if you're on Epicor, or you're an Epicor partner, or you represent another product such as a Great Plains product from Microsoft, don't worry about the integration. Contact us. If you're looking at the product, we can give you a hard and fast timeline on when the integration will be available. Typically takes us less than a week, and the benefit to you would be that you'd get to work with us to ensure that we have all the elements of that integration built. So with that, we're going to conclude the webinar, and I'd like to see if we have any questions. We are going to use the GoToWebinar Q&A panel. So if you have a question, go ahead and expand that panel and enter them in there. There is more information available on the website if you go to E2B Technologies, e2btech.com, or e2banytime.com. Either way, you'll be able to drill down into anytime commerce and get some more information. From a price standpoint, it's very competitively priced. You're looking at somewhere between $500 and $750 per month on a subscription basis, which is really, really affordable. And that includes, a lot of the services that you would need to get up and running on the product. I'm not seeing any questions. We'll hold out here for just a minute. My contact information is not here. I should have put it on here. But my email is the letter J, Mallory, M-A-L-L-O-R-Y, at e2btech.com. And the phone number there at the bottom, 440-352-4700. You can dial that and ask for me, James Mallory, or you can dial extension 229 to reach me. I do have a question here. Is there a chance of seeing the content management system? I'm actually not prepared to show that today, but if you do have an interest, please email me, and what I'd like to do is set up a private demonstration, and we can show you what the CMS system looks like. I will preface this by saying that we had a solution that was developed in Silverlight, and we're about 90% done with moving the front end of the application into ASP.NET. And what that means is Silverlight only supported certain browsers and certain platforms like IE. With the ASP rewrite of the Storefront, we can support any device out there, pretty much any browser, whether it's Mozilla Firefox, Android, Chrome. The back end of it, though, still is Silverlight, so that's why I'd have to show you that in a separate presentation. So hopefully that answers your question, and we can go ahead and schedule some time to look at the content management system. And I'm not seeing any other questions at this time. So we're going to conclude the webinar. Please feel free to email me, again, the letter J, Mallory, M-A-L-L-O-R-Y, at e2btech.com. And I'd be happy to talk to you more about anytime commerce. If you are a reseller on the call today, we do have a reseller program, and we do work through channel partners, so there is margin to be made there. And if you want to represent the product, you can make money on the implementation and the services of the solution. So contact us, and we'll fill you in on what our partner program looks like. So thank you again for taking time out, and we look forward to talking to you all very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.